liked. "But I never talk shop," said Sir Henry modestly. "No, I never talk shop." Sir Henry Clithering had been until lately Commissioner of Scotland Yard. "I suppose there are a lot of murders and things that never are solved by the police," said Joyce Lempriere. "That is an admitted fact, I believe," said Mr. Petherick. "I wonder," said Raymond West, "what class of brain really succeeds best in unravelling a mystery. One always feels that the average police detective must be hampered by lack of imagination." "That is the layman's point of view," said Sir Henry dryly. "You really want a committee," said Joyce, smiling. "For psychology and imagination, go to the writer." She made an ironical bow to Raymond, but he remained serious. "The art of writing gives one an insight into human nature," he said gravely. "One sees perhaps motives that the ordinary person would pass by." "I know, dear," said Miss Marple, "that your books are very clever. But do you think that people are really so unpleasant as you make them out to be?" "My dear aunt," said Raymond gently, "keep your beliefs. Heaven forbid that I should in any way shatter them." I mean," said Miss Marple, puckering her brow a little as she counted the stitches in her knitting, "that so many people seem to me not to be either bad or good, but simply, you know, very silly." Mr. Petherick gave his dry little cough again. "Don't you think, Raymond," he said, "that you attach too much weight to imagination? Imagination is a very dangerous thing, as we lawyers know only too well. To be able to sift evidence impartially, to take the facts and look at them as facts, that seems to me the only logical method of arriving at truth. I may add that in my experience it's the only one that succeeds." "Bah!" cried Joyce, flinging back her black head indignantly. "I bet I could beat you all at this game. I'm not only a woman, and say what you like, women have an intuition that is denied to men. I'm an artist as well. I see things that you don't. And then, too, as an artist, I've knocked about amongst all sorts and conditions of people. I know life as darling Miss Marple here cannot possibly know it." "Why, I don't know about that, dear," said Miss Marple. "Very painful and distressing things happen in villages sometimes." "May I speak?" said Dr. Pender, smiling. "It is the fashion nowadays to decry the clergy, I know. But we hear things. We know a side of human character which is a sealed book to the outside world." "Well," said Joyce, "it seems to me we are a pretty representative gathering. How would it be if we formed a club? What is it today? Tuesday. We'll call it the Tuesday Night Club. It is to meet every week, and each member in turn has to propound a problem, some mystery of which they have personal knowledge, and to which, of course, they know the answer. Let me see, how many are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, we really ought to be 6. "You've forgotten me, dear," said Miss Marple, smiling brightly. Joyce was slightly taken aback, but she concealed the fact quickly. "Oh, that would be lovely, Miss Marple," she said. I didn't think you would care to play." "I think it would be very interesting," said Miss Marple, "especially with so many clever gentlemen present. I'm afraid I'm not very clever myself, but living all these years in St Mary Mead does give one insight into human nature." "I am sure your cooperation will be very valuable," said Sir Henry courteously. "Who's going to start?" said Joyce. "I think there is no doubt as to that," said Dr. Pender. "When we have the great good fortune to have such a distinguished man as Sir Henry staying with us—" He left his sentence unfinished, making a courtly bow in the direction of Sir Henry. The latter was silent for a minute or two. At last he sighed, and recrossed his legs and began, "Oh, it's a little difficult for me to select just the kind of thing you want. But I think, as it happens, I know of an instance which fits these conditions very aptly. You may have seen some mention of the case in the papers of a year ago. It was laid aside at the time as an unsolved mystery. But as it happens, the solution came into my hands not many days ago. The facts are very simple. 3 people sat down to a supper consisting, amongst other things, of tinned lobster. Later in the night, all 3 were taken ill, and a doctor was hastily summoned. 2 of the people recovered.